they were obliged to give us jobs. Now, I was I was a good student, and I had finished with the best grade in my faculty. The ADRA director in Rwanda, he was an American. He came to ask the ADRA, the VC of the university and the dean of our faculty if they can recommend him a finance director. My name was recommended. He came and told me, you are coming to be the finance director for the whole ADRA. I said, Lord, now this is my time. This is very nice. ADRA, to work for ADRA that time, I tell you, it was prestigious, and you could be paid good money. Very happy. And I went, ready to start. Before I reached the office, the leaders in my union, Rwanda Union, called the director of ADRA. They told him, you, who told you and who gave you the authority to hire this guy without our authorization? The committee has met. The union committee has given him another job. You cannot take him. He must go to our hospital where he comes from in the West. There is a position of an accountant there, and that is where the church needs him, not here. The director of ADRA did not know what to do. He was supposed to be obedient, of course. He called me, he said, I'm sorry. I was told not to take you. Please forgive me. It is not my will, but I was told you are going to another place. I said, don't worry, I will go. I went to the hospital. When I reached there was an accountant, there was a business manager. All the positions were filled. I did not even have a place where to sit. They brought a small chair like this, put it in the accountant's office. They brought a small desk. They said, this is where you are going to sit, and he will be giving you what to do. I said, well, that is fine. I worked for 1 year. But to tell you the truth, my mind was not there. And that is when I planned to leave the country. I said, this one is not my country. I had some friends who had managed to go to America to study. And I wrote to one. I said, my friend, can you help me to find the admission? They said, don't worry. You come. Just find a ticket. I know you cannot have money to come here, but when you come here, you work. There are places where you can even wash dead bodies. When you will come, we will show you, and you are paid well, and you can pay for your school. That is what we are all doing. We are going to the gardens, we are, picking up fruits, but there are also these nursing homes where the people are needed. We will find you a job. We can even buy a car. I said, oh. They sent me pictures of the cars they bought. I said, yeah,
You were encouraged.
this is the best. Quickly, they got me the I-20. Let me tell you, when I got the I-20, I did not know how now to proceed to get
A visa.
a visa. Oh, it was hard. I did not tell you how I got the passport. It was also
A miracle.
a miracle. But I got it. The visa now, I did not know what to do. I said, this one is a tough one. But I needed to have a big account of money. You know how U.S. embassies do?
Yeah.
So I went and looked for a friend of our family who was a businessman. He gave a guarantee. Just the bank statement, use it to get the visa. But that was not enough. You really needed to have somebody to help you. Fortunately, I had a friend who knew a guy in the U.S. Embassy. And to cut the long story short, it is that friend of mine who helped me, and I got the visa.
Amen.
When I received my visa from the embassy building, I could not believe it. Actually, I was running.
So they don't take it
Oh,
away?
the car almost hit me on the road because I thought they were going to call me back to take it away. So I got it. The problem was now the ticket. I told my parents to sell everything. They sold. I sold everything. I had saved some money also. And I got the ticket. Now the problem is to go. Which airport are you going to use now? If you use the Kigali International Airport, 90% you will be returned. Because they ask, where are you going? It was a serious puzzle. The day came, I said goodbye to my family. They escorted me to the bus. Instead of going to Kigali, I went to the border of Burundi and I crossed and went to Bujumbura to fly from there. Because I was afraid I would be returned. There were some people who were returned from the airport. But because of fear, I said, no, let me not take a chance. I went to Bujumbura. That's where I took my flight to the US. That time it was Brussels Airline today. That time the name was Sabina. I remember I almost had the heart attack in the airplane. You know what happened? After boarding the airplane, guess where the airplane went? To Kigali.
Oh.
They said we are flying to Kigali. Huh? Yeah. Kigali? Yeah.
Oh no.
I said, Lord, what am I going to do? And you know, it is not like today. Today, when you are, transiting or you are in the airplane and you are going to, your destination is not that country, you stay in the airplane.
Yeah.
They say stay for 45 minutes and then we will continue. That time, everybody out. I was taken out into the airport in Kigali. I said, Lord, is this what you want? So we were taken into the waiting room. Fortunately, we were in the hands of Sabina now.
Okay.
And I was not known. If I was known by the guys in Rwanda,
You would not leave.
they were going to remove me. But I was just a village guy from somewhere, and I tried to speak Kirundi. You know, Kirundi and Kinyarwanda, you just
Close.
change your accent. I don't know how I knew the Kirundi, but I touched it. So I went and sat there. Time came, they said, now we are boarding. But I could see guys who were suspecting me. But they did not have that power because I was in the hands of the Belgians. So I boarded the airplane, went through Brussels, and connected to the US. I will never forget that date. August 5, 1989. I reached there. The friends came to welcome me in Chicago, and I was taken. We were very happy there. I went to school. I paid my scholarship, my school fees.
How did you raise money?
We worked very hard. If I tell you what happened, you will be surprised. When I reached there, my friends were going to the gardens and others in the nursing homes. A friend of mine told me, tomorrow at 7, we are going to pick up the fruits. I said, 7? Yes. Do you want to come with us? If you feel strong, you can come. You can start the work and make money. I said, how much is it? He said, you will be paid $4 an hour.
That was a lot of money.
I said, an hour? I calculated, I exchanged into Rwandese currency. I said, that is almost my monthly salary. Aye. You think I slept?
You went?
Immediately with them. In the morning, I was given a line of apples to pick up the fruits. And picked at around 9 a.m. I was very hungry. And I was tired, but I did not know. They gave me a bread and a drink. After swallowing only one swallow, I was down on the floor.
You slept?
I slept until 5 p.m.
That jet lag, the anxiety. Oh.
It was very tiring, but I wanted to show you how determined we were.
You were.
And we worked hard. We could work 24 hours sometimes, 16 hours a day. You go, you do your schedule at the school, and you make sure you have time for those shifts. We worked hard, and we survived. 1990, October 1st, is when now the refugees from outside, mainly Uganda, led by not even President Kagame, there was somebody called Fred Rwigema, because at that time President Kagame was in America in school. They decided to go back to Rwanda by force. I did not mention it because it is a long story. But all these years, those years they lived outside Rwanda, they were asking to come back to Rwanda, but they were denied the opportunity. Unfortunately, in our continent, when you are a refugee, it is not like in Europe or America where you can be given citizenship or papers. You remain refugees, your children become refugees, your grandchildren refugees, and you say, what are we going to do? Refugees forever. That made people, those refugees who fled Rwanda in early 60s, to ask to come back. They were tired to be called refugees, but they were denied the access to come back to Rwanda. The President Habimana was saying, no, the country is too small, you cannot come, you have to stay there. So negotiations failed. They decided to go back by force. They said, it is dying, we are dying here, we cannot continue like this. So October 1st, 1990, they invaded Rwanda. That is when now the struggle started, the war started. Oh, I was in America. People were jailed, others killed. I'm talking about the Tutsis in Rwanda now. And there were many. You know, after almost 30 years, there were many young people. So they killed some. Others were jailed. They said, you stupid, these people who are fighting the country, they are your relatives. They are Tutsis. They want to come to live in Rwanda and take our country and take our land, and you must also be killed. Go, join them. It was bad. Negotiations started to have a peaceful entrance, but it failed. The war became very tough. And almost 4 years later, that is when, after all the negotiations in Arusha failed, something happened. Negotiations were still going on. But I don't know who did it, but whoever did it, he only, started something which was already planned.
Yeah.
Because these guys, as the army from outside was getting the ground, the national or the country soldiers were unhappy, killing. They said, we must now prepare the genocide. There are so many tapes, there are so many speeches. These are all over. You can listen to them, where they were preparing to kill all the Tutsis now. Their thinking was, when they kill all the Tutsis in the country, these ones coming, fighting, even if they win, they will be frustrated because they have nobody in the country. So they started killing, and some people managed to flee the country, others could not. There were so many roadblocks in the country. And in 1994, April 6 in the evening, President Habimana was with some others. I think there was also the president of Burundi who had taken a ride in the same plane, and some of the guys who had accompanied President Habimana in Arusha for, the negotiations. When they came, their airplane was shut down right above the president's house. The plane fell in his swimming pool. All of them dead. It was in the evening. after 1 hour, the whole country was prepared and they had put the roadblocks on the road to make sure there is no Tutsi who can go and fly and flee the country. The killings started immediately. Immediately. Now, think about that. I mean, if there is an accident or the airplane is shot down, how do you start immediately?
It was long planned.
It was a long planned killing. Of course, the names were listed, the families. Somebody told me, Jerome, you are lucky. I said, why? Do you know? You know, when I finished my master's degree at Andrews, I was supposed to go to teach for our university in Rwanda. And I had accepted. But the war became very bad, and my family sent me a message. They said, please don't come. You wait. We want to see where things are going because things are not good. So I waited, but my name was listed among the teachers. And they listed my name among the people to be killed. How do I know? When the Hutus fled to Congo after their defeat, my friends who are in America went to rescue them from a disease which happened in Goma. People were dying because of, there were so many and the water was not good. It was like Ebola kind of, but terrible. So Americans went to help with clean water and food and so on and so forth. A friend of mine saw the lists and he saw my name on the list. He's the one who came and told me, do you know your name was on the list of people to be killed at the university? I said, what? I said, I don't know, but it was there. So I remembered that my name, I was actually hired.
So did they actually kill people at the Adventist University?
Unfortunately, yes. They were killed. At our Adventist University, Modende, that was the area at that time, they killed many students, Tutsis. Actually, all of them. Congolese, they managed to go. Others, they were evacuated, but the Tutsis were killed. There is even a memorial there. And they looted all the buildings. The soldiers came. The campus was completely destroyed. And that is why the church decided to move the campus from that place to Kigali. Now, the university is no longer there. It was like a 3 hours drive from Kigali. And the university was moved to Kigali after genocide. So it is still there. That is the one you visited. So that campus became the military barrack because it was close to Congo. And the militias who fled the country after the refugees took over, they kept disturbing the country from Congo. So it was not safe to stay at that campus. But people were not even interested because, you know, students were killed there.
Yeah.
They said we should not continue, you know, staying here. So they moved the campus to Kigali, and that is where it is even today. Because Tutsis are the ones who were targeted to eliminate them. They were all killed, children, ladies, young, old. You just needed to be a Tutsi. Those who were not easy to be identified, you had to show your ID card with the mention of Hutu or Tutsi. They find you are Hutu, you go here. Tutsi, here, slaughtered. My family, when those things started, we called them. And they were not home. But we were told they had seek refuge into our mission. The mission ground, that is where we have our hospital, Mugonero Hospital, and the mission field. So many people came to seek refuge there. Why? Two reasons. One, during those other killings, previous years, once you manage to reach the mission compound, you were saved. You were protected. So all of them went there to seek refuge, thinking that it is the same, but it was not. Instead, they were even encouraged to go there. Others, they were encouraged to go to the stadiums. Others into different places, public places. And in our compound there, that is where my whole family, our mission compound, went to seek refuge. And the government sent 2 soldiers to protect them. So-called protect. But it was to make sure they don't leave and go somewhere. They wanted to keep them at the same place because it was easier to kill these people in mass. They had trained killers, special groups who knew how to kill and kill very fast. With grenades, with guns, machetes, everything, all the tools you can think of. So ours were kept there in the name of protection. We had so many pastors and their families, retirees and their families, church members. Our compound had over 8,000 people. In the hospital, buildings, outside, all over. They stayed there for 10 days, singing, preaching, day and night. Pastors were busy, asking the government to forgive them. Please don't kill us. So they asked the president of the field, can you please talk to your Hutu fellows in the government not to kill us? But he was so mad. He was even worse than those guys. You know, the devil can work. The way the devil worked in that man, of course he was not that good. I knew him before. And his son was the medical doctor
at the hospital.
At the hospital. And this son of him is one of those guys I told you I finished high school with. Him, he went to the National University, finished medicine, became the medical director for our hospital. His father was the president of the field. So they were both not good. They even were working with the government people. Can you imagine they even had guns? So our pastors begged him. They said, can you please forgive us? Talk to your people. Why are you willing to kill us when we did not do anything wrong? We were not born because of our choice. When we were born, we found ourselves Tutsis, others Hutus. Why are you? It is not our fault. Please help us. He told them, and they wrote him a letter for help. And he responded. He told them, your time has come. You die like men, not like children. That letter is there. And it is written in many books. Anyway, one Sabbath morning, April 16, 1994, the group of killers came at 8 a.m. Sabbath. You check on the calendar. For that day, it was Sabbath morning. He brought those killers. They said, now it is your time. They killed and killed. They threw grenades in the there's a small church there where many people were hiding. They captured some Tutsi pastors they did not like. They hung them on the cross. When we went to, I remember 1996, I went to that place after the war, and we found some pastors on the crosses like this. They had enough time. They killed from morning children, ladies, men, old people, all over them. And one of the survivors, because we had the 3 guys who survived, they could manage, and they hid in the hospital in the roof. They managed to escape. They are the ones who told us those stories. They told us it was a nightmare, of course. And they're the ones who told me, my whole family, all my sisters. I had 3 sisters, and we were 4 boys. Me, I was in the States. 2 boys were there. And one, I had managed to bring him to the US during those troubles. He managed to reach Burundi. When he reached Burundi, at that time I had money, I arranged, and he came to America. We are 2 now remaining. That week or that day, I lost all the relatives, 71. I counted 71 people who died in one day. Of course, there are others who died in the mountains, like uncles, aunties, you know, but it was not easy. Those I knew I could count. I reached 71, then I stopped. All killed there one day.
At the church?
At the hospital and the church. Bodies were so many. Those guys, the pastor who was there and his other fellow Hutus, they asked for help from the government. They threw some bodies in the septic tanks, and they came with the fuel and burned the bodies. Others, they could not. They brought the caterpillar. They put the soil on the top. When they could not win the war. Their soldiers and they fled in the Congo and other places. They left the bodies there. And when we went to see if we have people who survived, we found 2 big mountains, huge mountains of bodies and the dirt on them. But because it was even a rainy season, you could even see they did not put enough soil above the bodies. So we were completely demoralized, to tell you the truth. But at that time, we managed to keep the bodies together, those which were not burnt. It was not easy. There was no money in the country. People had completely gone. Even the Hutus in the country were afraid because the army of rebels, that's how they were called, they came and took over Kigali and the country, and the Hutus were very scared. They were even told to run away because they thought if they empty the country, those guys will find themselves useless. So they were encouraging all the Hutus to go.
Run away.
Please go. Don't stay. They will even kill you. So the country was almost empty, mainly in Congo. That was the only exit they had. Many people died in Congo. Let me tell you, innocent blood is bad. You don't try that one. When I see people killing innocent people or doing wrong things to innocent people or doing wrong to anybody, I feel sorry for them. Do you know those guys, some were innocent, others were killers, but it affected everybody. They went into the Congo. You know Congo is big.
Yeah.
Congo is bigger than Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania put together.
Oh, really?
It is bigger than those countries. Forest all over. No roads. Even some of them were using the Congo River to cross, to go to one city to another. So people, ladies, men, children were walking into the forests. Hunger, diseases.
They died.
In fact, I can say Hutus who died in Congo that time, I felt sorry for them. Very exhausted. You know, when you are killed, you die.
Yeah.
And it is finished. Them, they suffered. And the number of those people who died is even more than the Tutsis who were killed in Rwanda. I always say, don't try to do anything wrong to your people because, or anybody, your friend, your neighbor, because you would be punished even more. People don't understand those kinds of things. I feel sorry when I see things happening today. But anyway,
but how did you feel really? I mean, knowing that you left, the last time you saw your parents was in 1979, and your siblings.
Yes.
And you know, I know those days there was no WhatsApp, there was no email, and so it was just letters.
Yes.
And the next time you come home, your home is completely deserted, and you know that these people are not anywhere. I mean, they will not come back.
You know, during the killings, we were together with many friends in America. We could go to one house here. I remember my roommate, he got the news that his parents were killed and the people came to visit him. We started crying, thinking it is only him. After 1 minute, they said Jerome's brother, his body is on the road somewhere. Others. Phones were working, but we called some. We could talk to some of our friends, and they were saying, "No, we are hiding. We are in the roofs." And sometimes you could hear the voice cut, and they are killed immediately. It was horrible, but when this thing called death is bad.